belong with me, and I belong with you. You belong with me, and I belong with you.
Hello and welcome to bite number 4 of our Belonging Bite-Sized Inclusion and Belonging video series. I'm Sophie Wood.
And I'm Danielle Wood. And today we're going to take a look at the role of managers, but particularly leaders, and how they play a role in fostering inclusion and belonging in the workplace. Now, for me, I think for both of us actually, I'd be fair to say that it does really need to start at the top with the leaders who need to walk the talk. They need to actively demonstrate inclusive behaviour. But that's not enough. No, not enough just to say the right thing. It's about creating spaces where everyone feels safe to contribute. So one of the most powerful things that a leader can do, the action they can take, is just to listen, not just to hear people, but truly listen to understand the meaning behind what they're saying. And this does mean asking questions. It does mean being curious and valuing the fact that people have diverse perspectives on things. And then it's about making sure that those people, that everybody in the team has a voice at the table. Don't you think so?
I do. And I think that also extends to having difficult conversations. So especially around kind of traditionally what may be perceived as difficult topics like mental health, things like race, or even gender identity. Leaders, they don't need to have all of the answers, but they do need to be willing to engage and to learn. So moreover, it's about making sure that things like poor or inappropriate behavior can be challenged in a healthy way. And that's a big challenge for any company. In fact, Danielle, it brings to mind that quote, the one from John Amici, doesn't it?
Oh yes, not only do I love his name, John Amici, I love saying that. But yeah, it's one of my favourite quotes. So this quote really made me stop and think when I first heard it. So he said, culture is defined by the worst behaviour tolerated. Now, just think about that for a moment. Culture is defined by the worst behaviour tolerated. Oh, thank you for paying attention and pondering that, Sophie. Yeah, so let's put that in practical terms. So you've got a team and they get on well together, which is great. And you know, they do have some playful moments, but sometimes their banter becomes wildly inappropriate. And sometimes it targets characteristics of somebody on the team. Yeah. Now, if you as a manager join in and don't check that behaviour, then how do you think that's going to make that individual feel, the one that is the target of the banter? How likely are they to step forward and contribute on a daily basis if they don't feel comfortable? I think that's a really important thing to think about. Culture is defined by the worst behaviour tolerated. So if you let it go on, it becomes the norm. Yeah. So the other thing I also believe very strongly in is that when leaders do prioritise inclusion, it has a ripple effect through the entire organisation. So it will empower managers, team leaders, and every single employee to do the same. And it's about setting that tone and showing that every voice really does matter. So if you get that culture right, imagine what effect that might have. Imagine that this is the experience of everyone that works for you. So just think for a moment. I'm going to give you an example. So you're a member of one of these teams in your company and you wake up in the morning and you can't wait to get to work. You love your job. You're pumped up about what you'll be doing today. You've got a one-to-one with your manager and you love these because your manager takes a real interest in who you are and what you're doing. They ask, how can I help? They give great feedback and they're really supportive of your personal development. You also love team meetings because they're always a great opportunity to discuss issues, collectively identify solutions, bounce new ideas about, and get backing perhaps for future projects. And your manager ensures that everybody gets involved, encourages that spirit of collaboration. And then, of course, there was that time last year when you were having some personal issues at home and you're experiencing low mental health. And your manager gave you the flexibility to attend counselling and they supported you in a variation of your hours. So, in summary, you think your manager is great and that the culture they've created for you and your team is great, not just for you, but for achieving team outcomes. How many of you, hand on heart, could say this about your personal experience?
I wonder. So, leaders, if you're watching this, think about the messages that your actions send. Are you creating space for all the voices in your company that need to be heard? Are you challenging biases when they arise? And don't forget, creating an inclusive culture. It's not a one-off activity. It's ongoing. And it requires continuous commitment and discretionary effort. Okay. These are the steps that build an inclusive and belonging-driven culture. So, join us next time as we explore these important topics further. Now, in the meantime, if you want to find out more about us, then just visit our website, www.belongingbase.com. It's along the bottom of the screen. Yeah. So, all that remains for me to say now is goodbye.
And goodbye from me too. Bye.
Cause you belong with me, and I belong with you. You belong with me.